Okay, people, make sure you share this. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell for notifications. Also, looking for seeds, jppepperseeds.com. Earlier today, around 6 or 7 a.m., I went live for about an hour and 10 minutes, and that was for the top 5 mistakes people making crosses. This one is the top 5 new grower mistakes. So, this is my lunchtime. I'm going to wait till a couple people come in. Make sure, share it. I had lunch break, chicken tenders with a little bit of ranch. I know there's a big argument between ranch and blue cheese. Who cares? It's what you like. It's what I like. It's what you like. It's what we like. Porkus brand from my friend Thomas Toth. Bacon X. Bacon makes everything better. Or Snick Element. So, I'm going to eat a little bit and we'll discuss some basic mistakes that newer growers make. Now, the list could go on and on and on and on, but just things that popped in my head that perhaps it'll help others. You're in for a short amount of time. I have to leave for work soon. I'll tell you what, let's start then. Top 5 things new growers make mistakes. We'll start in pretty much chronological order and not necessarily on importance or frequency. One big mistake that new growers make, and the key word is patience. You need patience. It's not something like a magic beanstalk and it grows right away. Germinating. I have not one, but 2 germinating videos. If you're at the right temperature, 80, how many times do I give out instruction sheets? How many times do I give out links? That is my visual presentation of my written instructions, and people were like, dude, your seeds are not germinating. They're on top of my fridge. It's been 60 days. There's mold growing on there, and I want a refund. Technically not that much, maybe 20 people per year. Hey, follow the instructions, you'll do fine. That germination mat is not crucial, but it's definitely a key factor. So I just wanted to go over different categories. It takes anywhere from a week to technically 40 days. Got to keep an even amount of moisture. Do not soak them. Stuff like that. Also, one thing I've noticed, and I used to do it myself. I know this from my own experience, that if you're germinating seeds and planter cells and you add too much water, the seeds can float up above and go to the other cell. And if it's a different type, now you're going to blame the seed vendor. It happens. I've seen it. So there's that. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, one of the biggest mistakes I've seen newest growers, overwatering. Overwatering. Water, light, food, elements of life. You want more life, you want more of a plant. It's logical, you add more water. But it works out in hydroponics because you're not going to get root rot because the water is in circulation. If you have moisture and the roots are on there, you're going to get root rot, and a sign of overwatering is yellow leaves. So, and then people try to overcompensate by giving too much nutrients. That's number 2. Moving to number 3, and I'll read our comments here shortly. Oh, that was basically number 3 as well. Well, not really. Giving bloom nutrients. Now, a lot of people might not understand that, so I will break it down. Giving bloom nutrients to smaller plants. They'll be like, oh, you know what? And I've noticed a video that was going on my, it was spamming on my news feed, and it was this girl, cute girl, mind you, cute girl, and she was like, you don't need this, you don't need that, you don't need this, you don't need that, you don't need this, you don't need that, you don't need this. All you need is a nutrient, one thing of nutrients that has everything. I'm sorry, but I gotta disagree. It's like you don't want to feed a baby vitamins that are meant for older people, maybe more hormone based or whatever. That makes no sense. So I kind of relate plants to humans as well, so you could actually relate. You know, it's crazy. So you don't. What you want to watch out is for the second and the third number. You don't want high numbers on small plants. Like, one thing about nutrients is nitrogen. Too much nitrogen, you get flower drop. Too much water, you get flower drop. You do not want phosphorus and potassium early stages of your plants, because what will end up happening is you get flowers. Okay, well, I am kind of hungry, so I'm taking a bite and I'm going to read comments. Okay. Bruce Cook says, yep, I've learned these plants do take quite a bit of time to grow and mature, especially when seedling stages. Well, once my plants get about a foot tall outside, then they take off in size. Absolutely. 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 Okay, I'm caught up. I am hungry. So, there's all that stuff. Oh, okay. I'm going to take a bite of this. Enjoy some of this sauce. Let's get more sauce on there. This stuff is awesome. Be sure to share this too. I can't post on Facebook really right now. Okay. This is the number one thing I personally see. I could be wrong, but the most frequent thing of a new grower and a new seed vendor, which is hand in hand. Everybody loves the pepper community. We're all here for one reason, because we love peppers. But, well, actually, not everybody loves peppers and they still sell. Whatever. Business is business, right? I guess so. They're excited to start making money, and some people are excited for peppers. Fine and dandy. They're your plants. I have no right to say how you grow your plants. However, I would like to influence you in a positive manner. Do you know how many people in the past 3 weeks have contacted me and said, hey, these are not perfect shapes. They're runts. Why am I getting runts? There's something wrong with your seeds. Well, is there? No. There's something wrong with, there's actually nothing wrong, but you can't expect perfect shapes on runts. You got a runt plant. Do you know how many people I see, it's like less than a foot tall, like this tall, and they're producing already? Be patient. You will get higher yields and more peppers overall if you wait. Pick those flowers off. Those flowers are getting enough, or taking energy. Pick those flowers off. Make sure your phosphorus and your potassium levels are low. Maybe not, you don't really need them right now to get a full plant. I have some full plants out there, but technically not many. I have them under nets, and I'm still picking a couple flowers off because I want that energy for that plant. You're not going to get perfect shapes on runt plants. That was number 4. That was number 4. Number 5. Number five was kind of a number five and a number six at the same time. One of the biggest mistakes people make, and it is a headache for any seed vendor. And I've gone to the point I've learned how to eat and talk to handle the situation more appropriately. If people do what they do and they're fine and they put it outside like everybody else and they don't map out their grow, what ends up happening is the sunshine and the rain, or maybe even children or a squirrel or who knows, somehow they lose track. Either they mix up their tags, or a lot of times it's not even mixed up tags, I don't think. I think it's the rain and everything. Map out your grow. I've had it already this year. Somebody came up to me and wanted about 30 hours of customer service on one of the biggest times of the season. And this is where I became better. This is where I became more efficient. What I'll do is, if that situation happens, go ahead and contact me, and I'll pull up your order, and I'll give a screenshot of your order. You should have a copy of it on your email. A lot of people delete it. I always send a copy of your receipt to your email. Anyway, so you can match up the pictures and the taste profile based on what you're growing. That way you're narrowing it down. Okay. So that's one of the huge mistakes. And people, I write it in pencil, or I do this and I do that. Well, that's funny because you guys are still coming up to me and asking. I don't have time to give 30 hours customer service. Not going to happen. Not my job, not my responsibility. My responsibility is to make sure it grows true, which I know it's going to grow true. I don't mix up my seeds, and I isolate, okay? These are actually rare cases, but I do want to bring it up over and over and over and over again to actually make sure you guys are good. Even if I help one person, it's worth it. I've made that mistake in the past, years ago. Map out your grow, okay? So I tell these people that. I'm even writing it on instructions now, and they still don't do it. Okay, there was something else about that. Okay, so if you buy seeds from a whole bunch of vendors, and you're growing it, and you did map out your grow, the best thing to do is actually go to each and individual vendor and ask for the copy of what they've bought and what they've bought. What they bought, and do the process of elimination, and hopefully you get it right. What's a bad thing to do? A bad thing to do is to take a picture of the pepper and put it on a random group and say, hey, what's this? Well, let me tell you something. There's over 30,000 peppers in the world, and you're taking a trust. You have a lot of trust in people for a random stranger that's on a pepper group. What's this? Well, sometimes things are easy to identify. Purple UFOs, really easy to identify. A ghost pepper, really easy to identify. Okay? But there's some peppers that look a lot alike. I know some peppers that are just almost look identical, but they have the flavors completely different, the heat's completely different, the origin's completely different. Maybe, just maybe, you should just consider it a pepper and enjoy it. Yeah, it's nice to know what you're growing, but don't slap a name on it from a stranger. And you look and they've only been growing for 4 months, and you're taking their word for it. I've seen some of the craziest stuff in the pepper groups, and it's becoming more and more chaos. I know a hobbyist seller came to me, and And he said, hey, listen, I mixed up my grow. Is there any way you can help me? Well, this guy worked second shift or something. He wanted help at like midnight. I'm going to bed. Here's a copy of stuff like that. He said, well, I can't identify everything. I said, yeah, you probably bought from other people. He's like, yeah, most people do. I do. So he didn't really give it his college try, and boom, he's selling seeds to 10 billion other things that are mismarked. Showing pictures of a paper plate. Oh, this is the Bain strain peach. And it's like a red ghost. And people are buying it. This is going to be an interesting season. Just map out your grow. Oh, that was the guy. I remember him. That was the guy. He has a niece. I think he has a niece, and she came to visit him. She goes, oh, hey, uncle, I did you a favor. I picked up all the garden signs and handed it to you. That's how his grow got mixed up. Yeah, wow, that sucks. That's why I say map out your grow. Anything could happen. One of my other customers blamed me for not stuff growing true. Guess what he did? This is interesting though. This is not where you think it's going. He put out cameras because he thought some of his stuff was getting stolen, which is true. His neighbors were switching his tags because this guy would preach about Jesus to him. You know, I'm not really a religious guy and all that. I respect people's beliefs and all this and that. But this guy pushed it upon somebody so hard, they ended up screwing with him, which is not a right thing to do. They shouldn't have screwed with him. But he found out later, after he blasted me online 2-3 times, hey, he called me up on the phone. We talked on the phone. He's like, Pickles, man, I am so sorry. I'm very, very sorry. I found out my neighbor was switching my tags. I'm like, well, I'm sorry that happened to you. I wish you didn't blast me about it. I can definitely get in trouble in these live videos. Definitely. But the moral of the story is, without getting all into the weird drama, that guy was, I cut him off. Couldn't handle it. Map out your grow. And if somehow some things get messed up, contact your seed vendor and ask for the copy of their receipt with the pictures, and you can match up your grow. That's the best thing. It's a best thing of process of elimination. It's better than saying, well, here's a picture of it. Hey, anybody, who is it? What is it? And they're like, oh, that looks like a starfish. I remember one thing, somebody was like, oh, that's a red starfish. But it was actually a sand dollar, which there is a difference. Craziness. So, just to recap of what I've rambled on about. Number one, have patience. This is a great hobby. It's a great thing. I made a business out of it. I try to be your leader. Some of you guys know more information than I do, so we can all learn from another. Be respectful for one another and have patience in your growth. Number one. Number two, what you want to do is don't overwater. You want to get your roots wet. Nothing wrong with letting them dry out for a couple days. Okay. Number three, big mistake. Stop using phosphorus and potassium to get on your nutrients. Do you understand that you're going to get blossoms and you're going to have these plants this tall producing peppers that's supposed to be this tall? Not only you're going to have to stake your plant, but you're not going to even have the great shapes because your plant can't even bring enough nutrients in to get normal sized peppers. So there's that. So that's about it. Okay, I missed some comments here. Bruce Cook, thank you very much for all the comments. They do help my videos. Kathy, Bruce Cook says, I love peppers not just for making hot sauces, but to snack on too. They are delicious by eating themselves. That reminded me of something. Oh, Bruce, you ever try, what's it called? Cowboy candy? That stuff is freaking awesome. Like a lot of people do it with jalapenos. You're basically crystallizing the sugar on jalapenos by adding sugar in a jar. There's recipes online. If you haven't done cowboy candy, check it out. Fantastic stuff. Okay. Alert, and Bruce Cook says, I learned last year that with a few other super huts, if I allowed them to get at least 4 foot tall, a single harvest can bring up to 100 peppers in one shot. Absolutely. After my propagating unit, I got a few of my seedlings shuffled and mixed. Okay. And when they go outside, I use clear packaging tape to go over the labels so rain. Yeah, that does help. It does. I'm still map your grow. Map your grow. You know, I mean, if you're growing like say 3, 4, 5 types, I don't think you really need to map your grow, but if you're growing a bunch, it's crucial. So I just came up with some nifty five top things to talk about on some videos. If you guys have ideas, leave them in the comments section, and it's very possible I'll go live again. Or do a pre-recorded video. All right. So that's done. Still drinking coffee. I'm back on the coffee, baby. Back on the coffee. I'm almost done transplanting. I'm waiting on some supplies. Bamboo's coming in tomorrow. So if the weather's fine and dandy, I should just crank that out. I should just get that done either Thursday, Friday. Wait, what's today? Tuesday. So I should get that by Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Just all of that, all done. And then finish out mapping my grow. You know, not to mention, even if tags are not going to wear off, mapping out your grow is a lot easier than walking down a bunch of stuff. Russell McBride, thank you for watching. What is a good NPK? Well, to be honest, it's a tricky question. It depends what you want. I don't really look at a whole lot of nutrients with the NPK. What I do, sorry, I am having chicken tenders. When I start my grow, I'm not going to tell you all the details. Use a good soil. Fox Farm Ocean Forest has a nice range of stuff. Fox Farm Happy Frog. If you start getting into pro mixes, which I'm not an expert because I've never used it, and that's something that's important in the pepper community too. If you don't know something, don't say anything. Don't say anything. Let somebody else answer that possibly knows the answer. That way you're not staring them wrong. So, if you want, I'm not perfect on nutrients. A little bit of nitrogen in the beginning after it gets about the third or fourth set of leaves. I use a little bit of nitrogen. I use some back guano. Just a light sprinkle. I don't even measure it up, light sprinkle. I do my compost teas. I've written 3 recipes too. So there's that. And I don't give those out, but there's nice recipes online that can get you started in the right direction. I mean, if I could list some companies, I'll tell you what. I'll list you a couple companies that I've used in the past. Unfortunately, whatever. I don't really use them because I make my own stuff. Elite Gardens is a good company. They're a little pricey, but technically they're not bad. They're a solid company. You want some good plants, and they have the different stages. You know, you have your first stage is root development. Always remember root development. So you need root hormones and different things like that. Pepper also, throughout the growth of your plant, pepper plants love calcium. More different species of plants and the different categories in the species require different levels. So it's almost crazy and absurd if you're growing a whole bunch of varieties and you're using the same nutrients and the same levels for everything, which works. But for prime, get to know your plants, and that takes many, many years. I'll give you an example though. Thunder Mountain Longhorn. I have never seen a plant, which is a Capsicum annuum, required as much calcium as that plant. So if you're growing those types or cayenne types, they really do require more calcium. So, okay, so Elite Gardens, that's a solid company which has different regimens of what you need. A little pricey, but let's see, Fox Farm, they have a great line of products. I used to use them in the past. Bloom Chaos is a fantastic. It's really pricey. If you're not growing much and just use moderation, you know, you could do stuff like that. Compost teas, different regiments of that. Today's special word must be regiment. It's usually plethora, but today's regiment. So there's 2 companies. Oh, Nectar of the Gods is a fantastic company too. They usually put calcium in all of their nutrients. So that's something else. So I gave you 3 companies that I do recommend. Elite Gardens, Fox Farm, and Nectar of the Gods. All right, hey Bruce, thanks for watching. All right, so I think I answered that thoroughly. I haven't got too many different pepper products, believe it or not. Yeah. You're welcome, Russell. Yeah, I'm telling you, they're solid products. I used to talk to the owners of Elite Gardens all the time. They used to send me free t-shirts. It is kind of weird. I used to help promote them on pepper groups. They must have gave me $400 worth of stuff for free. T-shirts, hats. I was looking down to even see if I had a hat of theirs down here. They might be upstairs. But yeah, they sent me all kinds of stuff, and I used to promote them. I used their products. I do believe, I never worked for them, but I worked on pro bono, basically. And they're good people. I know there's very, very busy people. You ask a couple grow questions, it takes them a few weeks to get back to you. But everything's pretty much well spelled for them. If you read everything. All right. Let's see. Any other questions? We can go up, maybe eat a couple more chicken tenders and start inspecting my grow. I always walk up and down the row, see if the nets are okay. Make sure no animals got into there. Also, you want to keep animals out of your grow. It's real simple. You know, you could go to some of these nurseries and they're going to charge you an arm and a leg. And all you got to do, get a vegetable oil, put a ton of garlic in there and hot pepper powder. Mix it up, let it sit for a few days, and put it around your area, the proximity of your grow. And it does keep out animals. And it's very reasonable and very cheap to do that, especially in comparison to buying a $10, $15, $20 gallon bottle of deer deterrent. And I pretty much gave you a better recipe anyway. All right, so I think I'm going to conclude. But go ahead and leave comments of videos you'd like to see in the future. All right, thank you all very much.